All right, question, because I know
Yeah.
you're already recording and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is just B-roll and shit,
Yeah,
which
of
is
course.
good. That's a great idea.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
My friends used to do it for their old podcast, and I kind of stole the idea from them.
That's a good
So
idea.
it's just kind of like a little fun way of like getting the show started and kind of introducing people and everything. So
Yeah, because you can just like it's just when people it's candid shit.
yeah,
You
and it's
like you're gonna
fun.
edit it down and all that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this probably won't make it. It may make reels, but it won't make or it may. I don't know. I don't know what I'm using for B-roll yet.
All right.
So like
That's
I don't
clever. I
know
like it.
until I start actually editing,
Uh,
and that's when I kind of decide. And then it's like, all right, well, here's what's going to be B-roll stuff, or
it's
here's
just
what's going to be a reel for later on. Where am I going to put it? Am I going to put it on Instagram? Or is it going to go on TikTok? Is it going to go everywhere? Like I'll throw like random stuff on YouTube and stuff. Like when we did the thought experiment a couple weeks ago,
uh
uh, we spent about almost 10 minutes talking about Muppets,
sweet.
which because uh, for the Christmas episode, me and Jeff were talking about if you could Muppetize one movie, what would it be?
Lord of the Rings.
Princess Bride.
Also a solid, solid,
So,
solid.
so I challenged him to come up with an idea. I
Uh,
gave him a month to think about it. So when we all logged in, I was like, all right, Jeff, I gave you a month. What do you got? He's like, well, I did all my month long thinking in one day, which was today, because he
yeah.
completely forgot.
Yep.
But he actually came up with the Odyssey, which was pretty cool, but a little so but we spent like 10 minutes talking about Muppets and like how we would do the Odyssey. And I fired off my next one, which was Hamilton. Because
That'd be a good one.
I think if anyone would appreciate his work being Muppetized, it
It'd
would
be
be Lin
Hamilton.
Manuel Miranda. So
Yeah. And
and
Alexander Hamilton, I'm sure.
yes, but I like I you have to have one human character, or
Uh,
that's kind of like my staple. Like you could do cameos and stuff, but you have to have one dedicated human character. Very much like the Muppet Christmas Carol with Michael Caine.
uh-huh.
And they all thought I would say Lynn because he wrote and everything. No, Kermit plays Hamilton because, why not?
Kermit.
It's Kermit. Which then you have Kermit dying at the end and being shot by
By
Leslie.
Fozzie.
No, by Leslie Odom Jr. because
Even better.
he's he's the perfect Aaron Burr. So he would be the
It really
lone.
is.
No, Fozzie would be King George.
Fozzie would be a good King George. I
It
get down with that.
should be slightly ridiculous, but I'm okay with it.
Here's a good one. If you can do movies, you can do series too, right?
Yeah,
What series?
I haven't even thought about that yet.
Off the cuff. Just
Breaking Bad.
shotgun. Huh?
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad's a good one. Breaking Bad's a
It
good
would
one.
be ridiculous,
It
but
would be ridiculous. Who's the human?
I would have to say Bryan Cranston
Has to
just
be.
because he was too good in that role.
Yeah, but
I
also
just
he'd play it like who was it? Tim Curry. Tim Curry when he played he like
oh,
acted
he
like
was
a
a
Muppet.
Muppet, dude. Yeah. No, he was a Muppet the entire time. I love that.
Yeah.
Rocky Horror is another one that's been floated around a lot, which I would pay good money to see that.
I would pay
Um,
good money to see it. But my series
yeah.
is Spartacus. And
Okay.
the only human, and I'm torn. I'm torn between Andy Whitfield
Okay.
and Lucy Lawless. And obviously, if it's Lucy
I love
Lawless,
that.
Kermit's gonna play Kermit's gonna play Crixus.
You know what I'd like to see?
No, Kermit's Spartacus. Gonzo is Crixus.
Yes.
He's got the nose for it.
Yes. The Sopranos
Yep.
with James Gandolfini,
Yep.
and he's just beating the shit out of random Muppets from time to time.
Yep.
That would just be, oh my god. Okay, this is the problem with this show is that like especially the B roll is just like I wind up talking about weird random shit, and it has now started to like really get into like Muppet territory,
Yeah,
where
well,
I
that's your fault, man. You brought it
it
up.
really is my fault. I really kind of want to just start a podcast where I just talk about Muppetizing things.
That's not a bad idea. That's not
It's
a
really
bad way to
not.
go. And you do episodes of it where you just literally pick something and you Muppetize it and you have to come up with like the entire fucking plot.
And at least like either the plot of the movie or the first season or the overarching whatever for the episode. Oh my god,
Yep.
that is such a great idea. I'm gonna
That's
have
a
to
great
start
idea. Write that down.
writing that down. So,
Right.
we are back with another episode of First, Last, and Best. Thank you to everyone who's been listening so far this season. It has honestly been a whole hell of a lot of fun. Uh, Between doing the thought experiment, having Caitlin finally make her grand debut, the pod mother herself, having do an episode about the dead Kennedys, which I was not expecting. But damn, dude, that was a lot of fun having Josh from Let's Ruin Our Lives on the show. And obviously, my guy Danny from Stop the Presses with us talking about doing the reissue of the Father of Make Believe. That was so much fun. I've been having a great time so far. We are deep into February now. We've got two more episodes before we actually go into Women's History Month, which I am super stoked about. I will give you guys a preview for that later on. Maybe not today, definitely next episode to give you an idea of what's going to come with Women's History Month. We got 5 episodes lined up with some great guests. I mean, some guests that I am kind of flummoxed about. But regardless, let's get into what today's episode is all about because it is a first, last, and best episode. But before we do that, let's go to the socials. Obviously, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, First, Last, and Best Podcast across all those. You can stream us over on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, and on Spotify. Uh, like, share, subscribe, get the data out there. We're getting close to 200 followers over on Facebook, close to 100 on both TikTok and Instagram. Help get the word out, or don't. I don't care. This is a hobby. I'm having a good time no matter what. So who cares? But back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today. I what can I say? This gentleman, random conversation, working at the second job, turned into what is a budding, wonderful friendship. He is the lead singer of Divided, a killer metal band here in the 757. He is one of the hosts of the Nerd Initiative. Dude's got opinions for days, and a beard just doesn't quit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Chris True. Chris, welcome to the podcast, brother.
Hey, hey, how's it going?
It's
Happy to
going
be here. Super glad to get a chance to talk music.
yes, not so much the nerd stuff, not so much the Muppet stuff, even though we
No,
did get into the Muppet stuff earlier. I,
always.
I just can't help it. I really can't. It's just turning into one of those things. Like, I don't know, like some people when they turn 40 get into like World War II or grilling or smoking meat or something like that. I get into the
Crafting beer.
Muppets, crafting beer.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine who when I first met him, short hair, very clean shaven. Then he started brewing beer, and he's got hair like almost halfway down his back and a beard that rivals yours, man.
It's a lifestyle,
It really is. It's kind of impressive when you think
right?
about it. So, but
Lots of
anyways,
dedication,
it really is. I could not do that, but I'm glad he found his joy in brewing beer. So, and I've tried the Irish red he made before. It's actually really good.
right?
So yeah, but anyways, today we're actually this particular band we're talking about today is one that I really never really listened to. I don't know, they just never came across my radar before. I've heard of them and I've heard like their singles and stuff, but it was never a band that I really fell into. But when you told me you wanted to talk about them, I was like, all right, let's dive. Let's dive head first. Let's listen. Let's get it taken care of. And that's Manchester Orchestra. And that'll surprise some people that I've kind of not necessarily dove too hard into them, because I am a huge fan of Death Cab for Cutie. I love the Postal Service. There's a lot of bands that I'd say are on a similar track or at least similar in sound to them,
It's
but I
similar vibe.
just,
I feel it.
yeah, but just like never really got too hard into them, or really at all. Now that I think about it, maybe it's just like they came around at a time when I was more into like the punk and the hardcore and stuff like that, and now that I'm in my 40s, now that I'm near the end of my life, um, I'm starting to kind of expand my musical horizons, especially for this show, which
Right.
is another reason why I love this show because it does force me to expand my horizons and listen to new things. So
And And I think that's kind of like what's happened with me too, man. Like with going back and listening to this and going back to listening to Manchester Orchestra, like because I came about them very, very, very early on, and it was by chance at a concert. But as I've gotten older, I've expanded what I listen to. Like I listen to way more jazz now. Like when I go into practice, I listen to classical music, right? Because I need to rest my voice anyways. And I've listened to
yeah,
something with a lot of words, but it also you get that hype and that dichotomy. So like I've expanded like all the things that I listen to just in general.
yeah, that's awesome though. I mean, like I grew up on like Queen, Chicago, the Beach Boys, uh, Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, that kind of stuff. And that's
Yeah.
also kind of like meshed into what I listen to now because I love Frank Turner. Like
Yeah.
he's very kind of Springsteen-esque in a way. Um,
I have a
and
friend who's really into Frank Turner. Not a lot of people that I've have brought that up. So I've heard of him a few times. My friend Kelly goes to Frank
he's
Turner
so
shows
good.
all the time. She raves about him.
First time I saw him live, or first time I've heard of him, he was touring with Flogging Molly. And it was just like one of those bands or one of those artists that I was just like, holy shit, this guy's really good.
Yeah.
We then got tickets we saw him at the Canal Club in Richmond. And then
Great
for my
venue.
fantastic venue, I've been to way too many shows there. Uh, then we actually went for my wife's 21st birthday. It was me, her, and two of our friends went to see him at the Camel in
Mm.
Richmond, and he played for like 2.5 hours. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was kind of like dragging everyone out because I had to be at work at 5:30, and I had
Right.
to drive back to Gloucester. So it was like one of those. I'm not getting any sleep tonight. I have to work a job. So this
Right.
is really probably a terrible idea. But he was like, I,
It's so worth it though.
it really, I felt like he played his entire catalog at that point. Like he
Right.
played, he did a cover of Thunder Road,
Ooh.
which might be one of my favorite cover songs of all time.
It's a good Thunder
So
Road is that's a good one to go.
yeah, but my wife went last year with her sister and a friend of hers to Harrisonburg, and it was an acoustic tour he was doing, where
I remember that tour.
it was Dave House, and I think it was someone else. I forgot who, but that actually got me onto Dave House too, because he's really good.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed his like listening and leaning into him. But we're not supposed to be talking about Dave House and Frank Turner. We're supposed to be talking about Manchester Orchestra.
Well,
Uh,
that makes for a great segue because
it
that's how I
really
found
does.
Manchester Orchestra was at a
Yeah.
show.
Who were you going to see when you saw them?
So, back in the day, I was a big brand new fan back in the day, right? Fuck Jesse Lacey and
Yeah.
all that
Fuck
all
Jesse
that good
Lacey.
stuff, like because of that
Asshole.
motherfucker did what he I'm sure of it, did what he said, what he is accused of doing. But it was Manchester Orchestra, Kevin Devine, and Brand New. And that
Yeah.
particular show, it was the 420 show 2008 at the Norva. Um, all three bands were on stage the entire time. So it was
Oh
Kevin Devine and the
shit.
goddamn band, Manchester Orchestra, then Brand New. And so it was like 3 hours of all three of them on stage because they were all like
Damn.
touring and stuff together. And so I left that and kept all three of those bands. So I saw Kevin at least once after that. I saw him in Virginia Beach, and I saw Brand New three or four more times. Like I said, I followed those guys around.
Yeah.
Um and all that good stuff. But Manchester Orchestra, when I moved to New Jersey, I went and saw them play at the Electric Factory in Philadelphia. So they're
Okay.
one of those bands that I found through live music. Like I always tell people, go for the openers. The openers are
Absolutely.
some of the best ones, right? I've seen
100%.
so many great openers. Mike Hem, I saw Mike Hem open for Story of the Year.
Nice.
Silverstein, I saw them open for some bands. I saw Bayside open when their drummer was killed. I saw them play that acoustic set. It was like two shows later.
Yeah.
That's why you go for the openers.
Look, We Are the Union. I saw them open. I saw Ballyhoo open for Real Big Fish,
Yeah,
and they were good. And then
yeah,
oh my god, who was it? There's a couple bands that were just like next level. I just saw, I forgot who they opened for it, but it was Blind Adam and the Federal League.
uh-huh.
Were really, really good. I really enjoyed them. Um, yeah, dude, there's a lot of great bands that if you're not paying attention, you freaking need to be paying attention.
Yep.
So
Bleed from
always go
Within.
for openers, kids.
Yep. Bleed from Within.
Oh
My
shit,
wife
what?
will tell you all day they have the dumbest name, but those guys are from Scotland, and in I saw them play in Richmond at the National. They opened for August Burns Red. It was
Oh, nice.
August Burns Red, Devil Wears Prada. I cannot remember the other band, but also Bleed from Within. It was the 20th anniversary tour of August Burns Red.
Yeah,
And so Bleed from Within comes out and they play their first song. You can tell these guys are kind of nervous. And then the singer goes, "We've been specifically waiting to play here. Like we came up playing Lamb of God covers. And like when I tell you we want to play here, this is where we wanted to play." And the crowd locked in, and you
yeah,
saw that like there were times where I watched the drummer why he had the biggest smile on his face because they were so locked in, and they played the best set I've ever seen. Hands down,
nice,
best set I've ever seen is played by a band called Bleed from Within from Scotland. Go and check those mofos out. They are very, very
nice.
good if you want to hear bagpipes and metal.
Doesn't everybody?
Of course.
I mean, I'm a Dropkick Murphys fan, so I'm all about bagpipes.
Oh,
I
dude.
have I have a set of bagpipes I've been meaning to teach myself how to play. I just they're currently sitting under my bed. I need to get them out eventually and actually teach myself. But I will talk about one more band and then we got to talk to otherwise this is just going to turn episode when we did not talk about Manchester Orchestra at all.
Oh,
Um,
dude, it's all gateway. Music is gateway.
it
Fuck
really
it.
is. What
If a million people go check out all these bands we talk about, we did our job today.
100%.
Hell
So
yeah.
back in like '06, I think I went to Code's place up in New Haven, Connecticut when I was stationed up there when I was in the Coast Guard. And I went there to see the starting line.
Ooh, good band. I saw them
Great
play
band.
Warped Tour 2003.
Oh, but I ended up, I was there for the starting line. I actually ended up really disappointed with the starting line
Yep, me
because they
too.
didn't play anything off of Say It Like You Mean It, like
Nope.
nothing at all. And I was just like, this is really disappointing. However, though, I
Play
did
the
find
Trauma Summer.
I did find an opener that night that absolutely wrecked it and became an obsession at one point. I've seen them probably like 6 or 7 times now, and that's 4 Years Strong.
Yeah.
First time I ever saw them live, and this is when they still had Josh Lyford playing keys
Hmm.
before he left the band. And oh, dude, they stole my soul that night. Like
Right.
I was going to be like, you know what, I'm going to buy some starting line merch. No, I left with like the CD, Rise or Die Trying. I left with a T-shirt. I'm like, this is my band now.
Right.
But dude, they were fucking good. They were.
I, I love when that happens.
One last one. Sorry, I
No,
was
all
once
day.
again stationed in Connecticut, Toad's Place. Went there to go see Dropkick Murphys, which, by the way, they had the fife and drum corps from the New Haven Police Department there.
Sick.
Madball opened for them, and that was the first time I'd ever seen Madball.
That's fun.
Oh, if you like some New York hardcore,
Dude,
that's some fucking New York hardcore, bro.
hell yeah. It
Love
makes me
Madball.
miss the old back in the day when we go to somebody's house and it would be like the local high school band, and their mom would like I'll never forget it. We were standing watching one of these bands play, and his mom came with like lemonade and cookies, and I was like, "Oh, sweet, at the punk show. Fantastic." We used to go to
So,
Harbor Espresso over in Newport
yeah,
News.
dude, okay, so there was this girl in high school who her show got canceled. Like it was part of her like her senior project or something like that. It was supposed to happen at the school, but the school canceled it.
Yeah.
So I was like, my mom's dating a guy. She's usually gone on the weekends. Just have the show at my house,
Nice.
my backyard. We got a back porch and everything. We'll set everything up. It'll be great. Didn't think about cops being called. Like I went to
No.
my neighbors and I was like, listen, this is what's happening. I'm sorry, but it's happening. So
Buddy.
did not tell my mom about it. He was getting ready to leave when my friend pulled up in his like jacked up Bronco.
Nice.
And instead of like going up the driveway, because we had like this big ditch that went into the front yard,
Yeah.
he went up the ditch and into our backyard. And my mom was on the front porch and she looks at me. She's like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Don't get arrested. And she laughs.
Don't get
So
arrested. Famous last
yeah.
words. I'm
Not
here
not my best
without.
moment. Not my best moment as a son.
That
So
happens.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, Chester Orchestra. Uh
Manchester Orchestra.
Manchester Orchestra. Let's go ahead and start with their first release, or their first full length, I guess I should say. I should
Hmm.
specify. And I'm like a virgin losing a child. It was the first one I put on because I have a tendency when especially if I go back and listen to bands, is I'll put on their first and I'll put on their bass and kind of notate how they change from the beginning of their career to either like the end of their career or to where they are now. And this album very similar to Death Cab, very like Ben Gibbard esque. Really liked it. Like I
It's
really
very
connected
of
with
the
it.
time.
Yes, like I truly connected with this album. Like I almost made a top three list just for this album alone.
Yep.
But
I
dude,
had a hard time with it.
like I put it on this. There's like only really two albums that I put on and I ended up finishing without skipping anything. Not necessarily skipping, but like having to pause and go do something else, or if I have to go do this instead. But I just let it play, and then it ended, and I was like, "Wait, it's over? How is it
Yeah.
over? I don't want it to be over. Keep playing, keep going." So, but this was definitely one of those, dude. Like, especially like there was like a 4 track streak where it's I Can Feel Your Pain, Where Have You Been, I Can Barely Breathe, and Sleeper 1972,
Yep.
where it's just like I'm lost in it.
Yep.
Like it felt almost mesmerizing to listen to,
Yep.
which
Those are some of my favorites.
that doesn't happen very often to me. Like there are very few bands that really that kind of like I just sit there and not be drunk or high and just kind of get lost in what's going on. And I was very pleasantly surprised, especially since this was the first album I listened to by them, that I was just like they got lost in it. And
It's amazing.
it really
It
is.
it really is. Like, so before I go to see bands, I'll usually try to listen to them. And back in 2007, 2008, um, I downloaded it off of LimeWire. So I listened to Where Have You Been and Now That You're Home. And then I got the album afterwards, and it stays on rate at least once or twice a year. I'll go straight through I'm Like a Child, I'm Like a Virgin Losing a Child. Where Have You Been has always been a staple. They just hit hard, and it's not
Yes.
like the themes, they still kind of resonate. They're not like overly like a lot of that stuff back in the day. It doesn't hit the same. It just kind of gives me the ick because I'm like, ugh, I mean, it's very teeny bopper, very young, but this didn't have that.
No.
It's very it's interesting you say Death Cab for Cutie because I hear that, but it's Death Cab for Cutie meets like Southern rock in a way because they're from
Yes.
Georgia, so it's very influenced from that. And just the
I
way his
can see
voice
that.
sounds. I believe they're from Atlanta to be exact.
Yeah.
But that whole album, it just cover to cover, it's good. It's very good. It's a great jumping off point. And if you listen to the EPs, because the EPs are some of my favorite. That first EP, um, which is you brainstorm, I brainstorm, but Brilliance needs a good editor is just as good. Did you get to go back and listen to any of
Yes,
that?
I did. I did.
Those are good too.
It's like
Those
I
are
had to
good
kind of
too.
like bounce in and out of it just because it was like one of those times where I was trying to like do five things at once and just have it playing in the background. But that was I was actually listening to that while I was cooking dinner tonight.
Mhm. Me
So
too.
yeah, dude, great minds.
Great
Think
minds.
great minds. I love
Mhm.
this. That's
With
awesome.
Texas chips and stuff.
So, but dude, that I was, like I said, pleasantly surprised as a jumping off point for this. So good. Just a great listen.
It
It
really
really
is, and
was.
it changes in tone, and it speeds up and builds, and it's their original lineup.
Yeah.
When they had like would bring out a MacBook, and have a MacBook on stage, and there were like five of them. The first
Yeah.
hey puppy dog, um, but like I Can Feel Your Pain is one of the first songs that I learned how to play and sing when I was
Yeah.
like first learning guitar and stuff. Like
Yeah.
this is an important album in like the development of like my play style. Because I play guitar too. Like before I did Divided, I did an instrumental band called Hailing a Chimera with my buddy Dom. And Dom, he's great. He went on and does like production and stuff. He's doing some of the production on the Divided stuff. Me and him wrote a song
Nice.
together that he's gonna produce. And dude, he's amazing. But like the style that I developed as a guitarist comes from listening to bands like Manchester Orchestra. I'm a weird deathcore singer. Like I can do all that stuff and I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Lorna Shore just announced that they're going on tour and they're coming to Virginia Beach. They're my 7-year-old's favorite band.
Seriously?
I shit you not, he has seen them
Nice.
twice. We saw them open for Gojira and Mastodon, and he didn't want to stay for Gojira and Mastodon. That's my biggest regret is I let that mofo convince us to leave, but he was real young. He dyed his hair purple for it.
Oh, damn.
He was like 5. Um, but the second time we saw him for Christmas, they played a Christmas show at the Starland Ballroom. And I was like, buddy, would you like that for Christmas? And he was like, yeah. So me and him got in the car and we drove to New Jersey. We went and saw them at the Starland Ballroom. We stayed in a hotel and went and
Nice.
watched them play from side stage. One of my favorite pictures of him is one I took from behind and he's sitting with his arms up. It sits on my desk at work. It's my favorite, one of my favorite things.
That's so cool, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
and
there's
just
nothing like that, having those moments with your kid.
nope. And he loves going to shows. He's seen Currents 3 or 4 times. I mean, he goes
Yeah.
to my shows. He doesn't like to miss because he just enjoys. My kid grew up in a mosh pit, but I wasn't like always that. Like I came up when I was a kid, my dad would sit me in the living room and I would have to be able to name album, band, and song from everything. He was a new wave 80s kid, man. So I grew up on
Damn.
the Cars
Oh, shit.
and the Cure and the Fix, but my grandma, she brought me up on the Beatles. And because I grew up on the Beatles, was a big influence of how I play guitar. And so coming up as a punk kid, a scene kid and all that stuff and learning to play guitar, learning Alkaline Trio songs and brand new songs and Blink 182 and the natural progression was to like Manchester Orchestra. I always had those like heavy bands from Autumn to Ashes was always big for me, but as far as like this genre, Manchester Orchestra is probably the most important to me as an influence. And I've always come back to them. Is that a That's fun.
Magical Mystery Tour.
I had Ooh,
Original White Album.
that's fun. First pressings? Oh, I love that. I had a Butcher cover. The Butcher cover was one of my prized possessions.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, I'm weird. I owned it, so it doesn't really matter to me. So I sold it and like passed it on to the next person. It was a second state. It was beautiful. Had
Oh,
the thing still on it. I loved my butcher cover.
yeah,
Um,
dude.
I also my other big regret to sell is I had a Daredevil #1. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I sold it. I loved that. It was a repro because somebody put a pin on it. But before we get detracted again, we're gonna go a million directions. Um, like it's a good album.
Yeah, 100%. No, yeah, dude. Those were my when. So I just got a record player about a little over a year ago. My mother-in-law bought it for me for Christmas. And when I went over to my mom's house Christmas Day, I told her, I was like, hey, I got a record player. And she bought me my first record. It was Hopeless Romantic by Bouncing Souls,
Oh, that's fun.
which I was kind of surprised. But she told me, is like, hey, if you want to kickstart your collection, my records are just sitting. Take them. Take some of them. If you want any more, just let me know. She has an original pressing of Nebraska that I want to get. I
Ooh.
need to go through her collection again and steal some more stuff. But
Yep, Discogs, man. It's a lifesaver.
it really is. So, but dude, hit the Manchester Orchestra. Otherwise, for once again, this is
Yeah.
already this is already sort of off the rails. But we know
And you know
we're
what's funny is I think the thing I think like somebody like Andy Hull, musician, and just from what I know about him, listening to their music, that they would appreciate
yeah.
is that like it's inspired such conversations and stuff. Like, dude, they did this band like he's done some weird shit. Like, have you ever seen the movie Swiss Army Man?
I've always wanted to see it because I am a
It's
fan of Daniel Radcliffe.
it's the Daniels. So the Daniels also directed Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is also fucking phenomenal. Watch that movie
Yeah.
if you haven't. But Swiss Army Man, they do Andy Hull does the soundtrack for it, but it's
Did
not
he
like you
really?
think. Oh, dude, it's literally a cappella. And there's no
Damn.
like real words, and like literally one of the songs is the Jurassic Park theme, and it's just him going ba-da-da-da-da. But also Daniel Radcliffe and Paul Dano
Yeah.
Dano are both on it too, so it's all of them.
Oh
And
my
that came
God.
out a few like 2015,
Yeah.
2016, but that was just something else that he had done. We're definitely getting into like all the other things that Andy Hall has done in Manchester Orchestra. Kevin Devine's definitely going to come back up because we got to talk about bad books.
Good Lord, dude. I need to see that movie. It's been on my list of movies to see that I just like I think about every now and again. Then it's like, oh shit, I really do need to watch that.
Right?
So yeah,
I just started a series on Nerd Initiative called Never Have I Ever Seen. Like I just recorded the first episode today
that's
where
fucking
I
cool,
watch a
dude.
movie that I have never seen that everybody else has. And so I record I watch the movie and then I record the episode like I normally do with my walking in the woods and shit. And I like
Yeah,
break it down as like, I haven't seen these movies. What's the big deal? And so I did Mean Girls. I had never seen Mean Girls. My son was born on October 3rd in which was a Wednesday.
that's funny.
And everybody's like, "Oh, it's Mean Girls Day." And I was like, "Oh, okay.
It is.
Sure." It's also Yankees Wild Card Day. Well, like, okay. We're just saying random stuff now.
That's what we're doing. So, like, I've never seen like there's a couple movies. When I was doing my first podcast, it was called "Go Ask Your Father." It was just
That's
like
fun.
parenting. Oh, dude, it was fun, but just being like an autism dad, it does get kind of it gets difficult to do.
Mhm.
So but it's moving on from that. Don't need to get too heavy into that. But one of the episodes I did was like Disney parenting and just kind of like there's a lot of dead parents. So let's talk about Disney parents. And
Yeah.
there was a couple movies that I like.
The living
You're
ones that are shit.
Yeah, I know, right? Uh, but I was talking about it, and then like one of the people I was recording with was talking about the Princess and the Frog, and I was like, never seen it,
Never seen it. I've never seen The
never seen it.
Princess and the Frog.
So she was just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I'm like, "No." It's like, "What about Brave?" I was like, "Never seen Brave."
That one's good.
There was a well, so there was just like a list of movies that I hadn't seen, and then when I got my wisdom teeth pulled out, like because I had like two impacted wisdom teeth,
Yeah.
I was just on pain meds and like sitting on in my recliner. So I was just like high on pain meds. Like I watched Brave, I watched Princess and the Frog, I watched Oliver and Company, which is like
That's
I saw that movie for my 6th birthday. I
that's
love that
funny.
movie.
I that was
But
the first movie I ever saw in a theater was Oliver and Company.
really,
Yep, my
dude,
aunt and uncle took me to the drive-in that used to be where Walmart in Yorktown is.
yep.
Yep, I'm that old.
I think I saw uh Problem Child was my first movie at the drive-in. It was either that or Ghostbusters 2. I don't remember.
Ghostbusters 2 is a good one.
Ghostbusters 2 is not bad. I think it gets a lot more hate than it really deserves.
It really does.
I love Ghostbusters.
Me
That's
too. I have a
like,
Slimer tattoo. I'm all in
oh,
for
that's right.
Ghostbusters.
You showed me that. Yeah,
I did.
that's fucking dope, dude. But but yeah, man, fucking go. It gets way more hate than it needs to.
It
Like
does.
I still haven't seen like the all female cast Ghostbusters. I feel like I should give it a try before I talk shit about it.
Right?
But at the same time, since they've put out like the two Ghostbusters movies, like Frozen Empire and oh my god, what was the other one called? I'm my
Answer the
brain.
call. It was just Ghostbusters, but
No,
Ghostbusters
no, no, no,
Answer the
no, no, no.
Call.
The first one
No,
they
Answer
did
the
with
Call is
like
the
Paul
first one.
Rudd and
Afterlife.
Afterlife.
Answer
There
the
it
Call
is.
is a
Yes.
video game.
Yeah, I
Ghostbusters
played that.
Afterlife.
Yes, I've played that. But no, Ghostbusters Afterlife, dude, I cried in the theater watching that.
I love that
It's
movie.
like the end when like I love the fact that they didn't try to recreate his Egon's voice. They didn't really try like he was there, but he wasn't really there. It was just it was so
It was the way to
incredibly
do
well
it.
done. It really was. And
Yeah, and
I fucking cried, dude. I was
me
so
too.
touched by that. That was
I
so
love
good.
the Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies. At one point, I had a theater poster that was used in 84 when it came out. Um, and I think that's why I can't I think it might be it's not Ghostbusters Answer the Call. It's Ghostbusters like 2016 or whatever,
Yeah.
right? The beef with that is everybody wanted the third movie, and we finally got those. So going back with retrospect, and that movie may have, I mean, it may sit better now,
Yeah.
honestly speaking.
I kind of want to
Just
try it
because
because it does have a lot of like Kristen Wiig, Leslie Jones,
like it's
fucking
got funny
Kate
people in
McKinnon.
it,
Yeah. So I at least want to give it a try. I don't want to like just talk shit on it just to,
right?
be one of the cool kids.
I've
So
seen it, and I don't think I saw it in a clear space because, like I said, I always wanted another Ghostbusters. Like I want them all to come
yeah,
back. And I was also a time they were doing a bunch of reboots, and
that's true.
reboots bother me, right? They tried to reboot. And by the way, I'm getting over a cold. I'm not over here doing blow. If you see me like with the ice and like rubbing my nose and stuff, speaking of being high, because I just keep going, and it looks like I'm doing bumps. I'm not. I'm just
He's
getting over
not.
being
He's
not
fine.
feeling great.
So let's not think about that. Serious. There are no drugs at the moment,
There
so
are none.
there
No,
are none. Just
that's how you
water.
get holes. Yeah, right. No, I'm like I just drink water.
Yeah.
I'm boring. I'm boring. That's the way to be. You stay alive
That's
longer when
you
you,
stay alive longer. Honestly, life ain't so bad when you're boring.
right?
You
Nope.
never get in trouble.
I don't, I don't have to worry about not feeling good,
Yeah,
anything like that,
right.
right?
God, being hungover sucks.
It does.
It's just bad.
Every time.
Who fucking likes being hungover?
Nobody.
It's no one, not a single soul. That's why
No.
people. Anyways, that's another thing.
But
What
we
were we talking
digress.
about? Yes, we digress.
Manchester Orchestra.
Right, that was nice. But yeah, great album. Really, it's great jumping off point, like you said. Honestly, so many good tracks on that. Just as a preview for the top three, there is a song on there that does reach the top three. Um, yeah, dude, just fucking good. Great album. Really enjoyed it. So let's jump forward now to the last. And I saw when I was looking on Spotify, there was a couple albums that they did like live albums and stuff. But the last album that I saw was The Million Masks of God. Is that right? I just want to make sure I have that correct. I know there's a
There
couple
was
that they've done.
Christmas songs, and the Valley of Vision has 6 songs on it. But if you're looking for like straight album with like full, I mean
Yeah,
six, depending on how long
full
it is,
length album, probably.
would be Million Masks of God.
Okay.
Which like with that album, it you can see where they're headed. Having like come along with them, I listened
Yeah.
to Cope and um uh like from from I'm like a virgin to Mean Everything to Nothing to Simple Math to Cope and just on and on and on. You could see where they were going. You could see because there were members coming in and out of the band. Like the members that are in now weren't necessarily the members that were on that first album. They had done a whole bunch of different stuff. So um their newer stuff isn't my favorite. I went a completely different direction with what the type like really the types of music and I listen to and it's still good. I still like it. I still enjoy it, but I have to be in a very particular headspace because it's kind of I don't know. I find it a little bit more like boring and than their older stuff. And I guess that's just me being kind of a Manchester Orchestra hipster. Um, But I don't know. I really like their older stuff. I like it a whole lot more than their newer stuff. And my wife loves their newer stuff, but doesn't really like their older stuff as much.
I agree. Like this album was not quite my favorite. Like it just wasn't quite there for me.
Me
I,
either.
I liked it. It was good, but if I
Everything they
were
do is
to,
good.
yeah, I will agree with that. It's kind of like it's very Alkaline Trio esque,
Yeah.
where it's such a deep discography and it's so good that it's kind of hard to pick a favorite, and it's kind of hard to say that it's a bad album because even a bad album by then is a good album by literally anyone else.
Pretty
So
right. Anything they do is gold.
yes, so I
God
will
damn it is the best thing they ever did, but that's they did here nor there.
I
My favorite
okay,
song
so
by them is Weak Weak, and it sounds like they recorded it on a cassette tape.
yeah,
It's a good song.
I'm trying to remember what I because we did an Alkaline Trio episode because Angle is a huge fan of the trio, which in all honesty I do start like I their early stuff is gold, dude. There's no
Every time.
doubt about it. Every single all day, every day. But I
Mhm.
will say one thing about the trio. I feel like they got stronger as their they progressed. Like especially like because I guess Matt Skiba had like a bunch of voice issues
Mhm.
like after Good Morning
Mhm.
and ended up like just needing surgery and everything. And since then, like his voice is so strong now.
Yeah.
Like especially their new stuff they've been putting out. Like
Yep.
I like Bleeding Out and Oblivion and Surprise Surprise is so
Yep.
good.
I
I'm
need
one
a
of
new
the
trio album.
oh that I hope that comes out this year. Considering they've released 3 tracks already, I feel like that's coming.
It's got to.
And
That's as
it
as a member
has
of
to.
a band, that's typically how that goes.
Yeah, because Goldfinger released what? Chasing Amy and Freaking Out a Bit, and their new album comes out on the 23rd.
Yep,
So
that's
on
fun.
Friday, which I'm excited about.
I
But no,
bet.
my favorite song is Warbrain by Alkaline Trio. Which
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
We
Oh,
played Armageddon at my wedding.
did you really?
Yep. We had two trio songs in
What
our
was the other
wedding.
one?
We had Moving Right Along
Nice.
from the
Oh,
Muppets.
dude.
Our bridal
You
party
just
came
brought
in.
it right back
I
around.
did. I did.
Nice.
Our bridal party came into Moving Right Along, and we came into the Ghostbusters theme.
I'm jealous. I'm not gonna
It's
lie.
fun.
We did the because at the time, and it just made sense to me. Like me and my brother are huge fans of Notre Dame football, so
Uh,
we did the Notre Dame fight song.
nice.
Yes. So completely off topic. What was the song you and your wife first danced to?
I've just seen a face by the Beatles.
Nice. Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel. I actually had the first 4 measures of Just the
That's
Way You Are.
cool.
Yeah. Then I have my wife and my son's name tattooed there.
There you
So
go.
yeah, that's going to be my next project after this is done. So, which I
Yeah, I'm
have
working on my own.
one last session to do, and then I'm done with this arm. And then we move to this arm. And then basically, my tattoo artist, I told him the other day, James Jarvis, shout out 138 Tattoo and Piercing in Gloucester, Virginia, is the only tattoo artist I'll go to from now on. I told him when he's done, I'm done. So, and he's like 53, I think. So he's starting to think about like the next chapter of his life and what he wants to do because like he owns the shop. You know, he's
Yeah.
just going to do like in the next couple of years, he's going to step away from doing full time and just be like there a couple days a week maybe. So so he's thinking about it, and I'm like, damn it, I gotta get it. I gotta get in. So oh, yeah, Million Man's of God, good album, not great, but considering who they are, that's still saying something.
It really
So
is. And I like Keel Timing. Keel Timing is good.
yeah,
Bedhead is good. Um, but those are really the only ones that stick out to me. And they really go for that kind of ambient, like very chill vibe now, which is cool.
agreed.
And before I came on here, I was talking to my wife. I said, because I was listening to the earlier stuff, and I was like, I really want to go see Manchester Orchestra, but they're not going to be what I want them to be. And that's okay. Like, don't get it twisted. Don't get me twisted.
No,
It's perfectly okay. Like they are doing what makes them happy, and I'm glad that makes them happy. It's not my jam anymore, in that particular way. Whereas she has never seen them, and that is her jam. So it'd be exactly what she's looking for.
yeah, it would be good for her at least. You know, she would, and
Oh, I
especially
would go. I
getting,
would.
yeah,
There's no doubt. I would absolutely go.
if they come through again, I'll go too, just for shits and giggles, because I've
Why
never seen
not?
them live. It's all a good time.
It is. They
So
just released a live one of their songs that they did it when they did a residency at a church in England, like this week actually.
that sounds just that's just a crazy thing to say.
It is. It
Those are
is.
all words that happened.
They are. Kevin Devine did something like that in the UK years ago.
Yeah,
We used to play it for like 2 days. He played almost every single song on every one of his albums.
Jesus, that's a lot. All right, so we did the first, we did the last, we got to move on to the best. Chris, what do you think is Manchester Orchestra's best album?
Everything to nothing. And that's my final answer. Mean everything to nothing. My bad. I left out a word. That album is amazing cover to cover. Sorry, I was trying to pull it up.
No worries.
Every single song on there is it's such a good bridge album. Like you can see where they're headed, but every song on there is an absolute banger. It's unskippable. There's not a single skip, but it's got that progression. They're moving somewhere. They're doing more
Yeah,
with their music.
I like that. It was a good album. I'll give you that. I really enjoyed it, and you could see what the future held for Manchester Orchestra. So I really did enjoy that one. Um, I will say that I will disagree with you,
It
but
makes
then
it
again,
interesting.
it does. Uh, if if it wasn't for the fact that we talked about it to start this episode off, I would say I'm like a virgin losing a child,
Uh-huh.
because that was one of when I we were talking about that album. I mentioned that there were two albums that I listened to where I just got lost in it. That is one of them, and it probably is my favorite album. But since I feel like as part of this show, I should move on and talk about other things and be not just repeat one album over and over and over again. So I will go with the other album that I got kind of lost in, and that's A Black Mile to the Surface.
Interesting.
I don't know what it was about this album. It just I put it on and I got lost, and it just ebbed and flowed beautifully, and
It's a vibe.
it's a vibe. It really freaking is, dude. Like I was very surprised when it got to the end, at the end of the silence, and I was like, "Wait, it's over. It's over? Are you
Yeah.
sure it's over?" And it's like a different album played or started playing after that, and I was just like, "Wait, I'm really kind of confused about what happened here." But dude, I don't know what it is about this album, but I just put it on and it just washed over me. That doesn't happen that often. So when it does, it's almost like a religious experience where
Right?
it's just like this an album is just that good that it just you could just let it play and you blink and it's done.
Yep.
And I
It doesn't
just
feel like time's passed and you've
no.
just kind of gone along. And there are a few albums like that. You're exactly right. That's one of them. The first two Manchester Orchestra albums. This year's Lorna Shore's album that came out this year. Completely different vibe. Completely different vibe.
completely.
But not necessarily in some ways too far off, like right?
No,
Like,
it felt like a really good blend of where they were and where they're going.
yep,
I would like to say. So I,
yep.
and
Both
this
those
is, hey,
albums
it's
actually.
almost like I think it's like 49 minutes this album.
Mhm.
So it's kind of disconcerting and a little disorienting that almost an hour has passed and it just felt like no time at all.
Yep.
So, which that always worries me, the passing of time as I get older and near the end of my life.
Right.
Um, so it's just
One quick step away from death's door.
exactly. It really threw me off. Just like and there's no real. Well, I will say I the silence was an incredible way to end it, and I was pretty shocked with how it ended. Um, but at
That's
the
the
same
song they
time,
just released
yeah, I
this
know.
week.
Yeah, so I was just like, it threw me off, but at the same time, it was very much a good way to be thrown off. So, yeah, dude, this album, like I said, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm Like a Virgin Losing a Child was the first album they put out, um, I would probably say that was my favorite album of theirs. But if I have to choose another one, it's this one.
That's it's a good pick. And I'm not sure if you know this, but if you go to their YouTube back during COVID, they played this album cover to cover, or at least a bunch of songs off of it. And it is a religious experience. It may
I
still be up on their thing.
I think the only band that I've ever seen live play an album cover to cover. Actually, no, I take that back. Because I did see Real Big Fish and Anti Flag play. Well, Anti Flag played Die for Your Government, and Real
Uh,
Big Fish did Turn the Radio Off. Except they skipped over Beer and played that at the end because, they have to.
yeah.
But no. Uh, oh my God, which album was it? Coheed and Cambria came through
Uh-huh.
playing No World for Tomorrow.
Yeah, that was recent, wasn't it?
That was
I
like
saw that show.
2, 3 years ago, maybe.
Yep.
Dude, that show was my printer just came to life.
Oh, that's when they played the Norva. They came with I was at that show. Did you see him at the Norva?
Yes, I did.
We were at the same show. My son was at that show.
Was he really?
Yep. That was the first time he saw Coheed because we've seen them like 6 or 7 times at this point. And I'm not, that was probably and they're usually pretty good. That was the least impressed by them I've been. They didn't even talk, remember? He came on and left, and they left.
Yeah.
Claudio usually talks a little bit, but it was also the first show of the tour, so that was the Work Your Kinks Out show, is
Sorry.
what that was.
Yeah, dude. That's another thing. It's just like the fact that that was probably like one of the least impressive times I've seen Coheed and Cambria play.
It still
And
wasn't bad.
no, it wasn't. So it's like one of those things that's like there's no such thing as bad sex and bad pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that. There's no bad Coheed and Cambria. It's just
No,
maybe
it's
not
good every
quite
time.
as much. It's good every time. I remember, and I've told this story multiple times. We were having a party at my old house in Gloucester when I think it was like 2003, 2004, something like that. And then my friends showed up afterwards, and they had just went and saw Coheed. It was Coheed Thrice and Thursday,
Nice.
and that was the show where they're In Keeping Secrets had just come out, and they play the title track to start off. The dun 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 dun. Yeah, that. And as a Coheed fan, you know just how crazy that song makes everyone.
Everyone.
Everyone. Uh, but I guess the power kicked out towards the end when they're building into the bridge. And just as they're about to get into that, the power cuts. And all you hear is like the crowd screaming back to them. And that's it. Like none of the instruments are playing, or you can't hear anything. Like all the sound equipment's out. But the crowd continues the like acapella the rest of the way.
Love it.
That is like
Love
the
it.
if I could ever go back to experience one show that I missed that I wish I'd gone to, it would be that. Because just that moment alone would be fucking worth it, dude.
Right.
So
Sometimes it is that Bleed from Within. I would go back and do that one again, the 420 show. And I
Yes.
recently saw Silent Planet and Invent Animate at the Canal Club. And every band that night was incredible, but the headliners were just
Yeah.
on another level.
Dude,
On
early
another level.
November's coming to the Canal Club.
That's fun. I saw that was Bodie's first concert was the early November.
Really?
He played like the a brewery
Yeah.
down in Virginia Beach, so we
Ace
went.
Sanders? Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he came with the dude from Midtown.
Yeah.
Midtown?
Oh,
And so Bodie, he kept talking to Bodie because Bodie was on my shoulders
dude, that's so
because there was
cool.
like 10 people there.
God, that's kind of disappointing.
Yep.
There's only 10 people because Ace Sanders is
He's
fucking dope,
amazing.
dude. He
But
really
it was
is.
just one of those things where it was like a random show and the more I know about like the scene and how it works, it makes sense. Like you'll get pop-up shows like that. Like I saw
Yeah.
Kevin Devine at Shaka's and it was not that many people there.
Oh, damn.
It was just him and a guitar and the couple people who opened for him. Into It Over It was the first was the second act. He was really good too. But like we've played with Shadow of Intent. That show was bananas, bananas. Um, we played with Rivers of Nile, and really, it's just been somebody who's booking a show down here. They're rolling through, so he's trying to book shows at Peabody's, and he gives
Yeah.
us a call, and we're like, "Yes, no, we will abs play with Shadow of Intent." I think I've got that time. Play with Rivers of Nile.
I
If he
think
plays
so.
a saxophone, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And shout out to the Disembodied Tyrant guys, by the way. We played with them and they are some of the nicest guys on the planet, like for sure. We like of the bands that we played with like that, those guys they were for sure the nicest.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those guys were great. We try to go see them every time they come through. I know I saw on Instagram or something like that Blake had gotten into an accident or hurt or something like that. So
Oh,
like
no.
he hadn't been out, has been out, but those guys are still on the road. So if you can get to a Disembodied Tyrant show, go see those guys.
Go see him right now.
They're amazing.
Yeah,
That
motherfuckers.
the poetic Edda, man, that shit is it slaps. And to watch them play it is fucking wild.
That's fucking great, dude.
Back to
All right.
Manchester Orchestra out
Back
of the
to
death
Manchester
core.
Orchestra. All right. All right.
Out of the death core.
So we've done first, we've done last, we've done best. Now we got to go into the top three. So this is how it works for those of you. Angle, I'm looking directly into your soul. We start with three. Each of us says our three. Then we move to two. Then we move to one. Whereas Angle likes to just talk, and eventually he tells me that he's done talking, and we're all very confused. And then I'm just like, okay, show's over. Uh, but
Bye.
I give way too much crap to Angle. He's such a great guy, and he really does help me out a lot with the show. So Angle, I love you, buddy. I really do. So let's go ahead and start with what is your number three, Chris?
I kind of cheated. So
Okay,
it
that's fine. If you
is
have honorable mentions, you
it,
are allowed.
it
Caitlin did a top six because I can't say no to my wife.
right.
So,
It's not a it's still a top three. However, it is not technically a Manchester Orchestra song. It is a Bad Books song. And Bad Books, if you haven't listened to them, is Manchester Orchestra with Kevin Devine.
oh shit. Okay.
That's it. That's the whole band. They just add him on. They call themselves Bad Books. And the song Forrest Whitaker is my favorite song by them. It was in How I Met Your Mother, in that terrible last season. But the highlight of that season for me was going, that's Andy Hall's voice. Because you
Which
can't
episode?
miss it. Oh man. I can't remember, but it's like somewhere in there. It's they definitely
I'll have to
play
look
it.
into that.
You have to. Um
I was gonna say going back, especially watching that last season, like I when I first watched it, it was cool. Like, it's fine. But then like I rewatched it and I was like, wait, the episode where Marshall's riding the bus out to the Hamptons,
yep.
and that's Lin-Manuel Miranda
Oh,
sitting next to
I
him.
forgot about that.
I was like that, and like seeing like Conan O'Brien as a background character in one episode. Like it's really just kind of throws me off, like the random cameos that you see in that show.
Right? Just like in the background.
Man, it's
Oh
fucking
man, I
great,
wish I
dude.
remembered what. one it was. There's 20 episodes. I'm not gonna be able to go through all
We'll
those. I'll
do
look
them
it up.
later. Don't worry
But
about it. Not
it's
a big
it's
deal.
it's in one of those, and so it's a bit of a cheat.
That's fine. I'm
My
fine with that.
honorable mention would be Jurassic Park from the Swiss Army Man
Nice.
soundtrack. If you have not listened to that, please do, and please go.
I will most likely be doing that at some
Andy
point
Hall is
today.
constantly doing stuff on his social media, so go listen to him and whatever he's doing.
Nice.
He's wonderful, from everything that I've seen online. But yeah, Forrest Whitaker, Bad Books.
Nice.
So on Bad
Nice.
Books 2.
Nice. I will definitely have to find that. Okay. My number three is from I'm Like a Virgin Losing a Child, and that's Where Have You Been?
It's a good song.
Great song. Really enjoyed that. That was probably like the first song that I really kind of was like, oh shit, this is definitely something.
Yep.
Like obviously getting into that first album was pretty easy, but when that came on, I was like, oh damn, okay, there's something to this. So I would have to go with that. That number three slot. Where have you been?
It's a good one.
Number two, sir.
I'm gonna go as well to Like a Virgin Losing a Child, but I'm gonna go with I Can Barely Breathe. It's a good one,
It's a
right?
great one.
What is the line if you knew that I was dying, would it change you? Is a
Dude,
great, just
that
great
is just a
line.
great line.
Because it's not just like it's more than it's not like that was in that change from the emo scene. So a lot of like the brand new was going into the kind of indie direction,
Yeah.
which kind of took me with them, which is what led me to Manchester Orchestra.
Mhm.
But just that line, it's so good, and the whole song, the breakdown to that song is great. The drum work, it's catchy. I can't. I love that song.
It's a great song.
It's a great song.
My number two, I would have to go. It is from A Black Mile to the Surface, and it's The Silence.
It's a good song.
Just something about that song, dude. This like when it ended, and I was completely thrown that the album was over because that is the final track on the album.
It is. I
It
was
it I was thrown, dude. It's just such a great album, really. Just I had to go with the exclamation point of that album. So number one, what is
number
it?
one.
Yeah,
Number one. I went even further back.
nice,
'Cause like I said, I've been kicking around with these guys forever, and that is the procession off of You Brainstorm, I Brainstorm, but Brilliance needs good editors.
nice.
I
That
love
is a
that
great
song.
song.
It's a good song. It's one of my favorite. It's the I think it's the breakdown for that. The breakdowns in Manchester Orchestra songs slap just as hard as just about any metal band, and that is really where that Southern rock influence comes in.
That freaking says something, dude.
Yeah.
It really does. So I will once again have to go like back to Like a Virgin Losing a Child for my favorite song. And it really just kind of it hit me really hard when I listened to it. And that's Sleeper 1972.
It's a good song.
Like I can very much see myself in it because my dad passed when I was 13, and it's just there's a lot of that's in this song that really kind of reminds me of those days, especially like when it first happened and everything. And this song, one, it's just a good song to begin with, but it's the song that kind of has resonated with me since I started listening to Manchester Orchestra.
Yeah.
So, so I would have to go this song as my favorite song by them, and that is saying something because they are. That's like saying, "Oh yeah, I have a favorite Coheed and Cambria song," which I
Yeah.
do, but it's kind of hard to decide. It really is.
It really is. And
So
this lineup could change easily because I easily could have put Now That You're Home on there. I could have put Where Have You Been? Slow to Learn also off of that. Anything off of
yeah,
Mean Everything to Nothing.
yeah,
Anything off of those I could probably rotate. And that's how you know you have a good band. It's just what mood
that's true.
you're in, where you're at.
That's true. Like it's kind of it's fun to look at it because like there's a couple. bands that that's part of what we're doing, like the reissue.
Uh-huh.
I will go back and listen to new albums from bands that we've already talked about, and we did that with the Wonder Years. And
Hmm.
I had Jeff back on. We talked about Burst and Decay, which, Jesus Christ, if you like a reimagining of a band's music, Burst and Decay does it so well. But that album, and honestly, just in general, changed my top three pretty significantly. Which I was like only one song left, and that got my favorite song when we originally recorded the episode bounced to number three. Like two others jumped in front of it, and which isn't all that surprising because the Wonder Years are fucking amazing. But that's
Yeah.
neither here nor there. Um, so that's it for this episode.
I
Chris,
appreciate you having me here.
Chris, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. You this will not be the last time you see Chris Drew because are planning something for June. That'll be slightly ridiculous, and I can't wait for it.
I'm here for it.
And I'm always here for it, dude. All right, so that's gonna be it next week. I'm not 100% sure who's gonna be here. It's either a band you should know, or another band you should know, or something else. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's We're having fun. We're having a good time. Uh, Chris True, you can find him on the Nerd Initiative. Go find him. Real Chris True is his handle over on Instagram. Uh, Divided underscore VA for his band. You can find him there. Uh, Go check out their music. They got shows coming up in March. 100% go check them out. Um, that's it for this week. We will see you next week with a brand new episode. And yeah, that's it. Good night, guys.